with the broadcaster and journalist Afia Hagan, and Mary McLeod, a former policy advisor to the Queen and Royal Household, who also served as a Conservative MP. Hi again to you both, great to see you. Afia, let's start with an article that you've picked out in The Star. That shocking story in Brixton from last week where 2 people died at a crush at the O2 Academy trying to get into a concert. What's this article talking about?
Well, you're absolutely right. This really shocking incident that occurred on December the 15th at a concert by a Nigerian artist by the name of Asake, which saw 2 young women tragically killed in a crush. There was thousands of people waiting outside without tickets. We're not sure why. Thousands of people trying to get in as well. So Gabby Hutchinson, who was actually working at the event, who was only 23 years old, and Rebecca Ukomelo, who was 33 years old, who leaves behind 2 young children. Absolutely tragic that these 2 young women passed away as a result of that crush, and one young woman actually remains in hospital at the moment. So the Brixton Academy has closed its doors. It's having its license reviewed and actually voluntarily decided to close over the next few weeks while investigations into what happened on December the 15th are taking place. But like I said, it is having its license reviewed as well. And it seems that there has been some failures on behalf of security. But why were so many people outside, first of all, and why were so many people able to rush the doors, able to try and get in, that caused this huge crush? It should never have happened, and 2 young women should not have died in this way. So the Brixton Academy closed at the moment, and its licence under review.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, hard to believe that something like that could happen in 2022. Lots of unanswered questions hanging over that awful story. Mary, you've pulled out this story from the Times today. Churches keeping people warm and fed this winter. You know, it's pretty desperate. 3 million people have turned to churches to be fed and to stay warm.
Yes, and there's almost 2 sides to this story, because it's awful that 3 million people need to seek that help from food banks, warm spaces, and that there is a scale of the issues and concerns that people have with cost of living. And the poll shows just that the 30% of people needed support, some of that from family, friends, of course, local council, charities and religious institutions as well. On the other side of it, you know, it's brilliant those people who have supported neighbours, friends, family, and the warm spaces are playing a huge role in this. And I see it in West London. We've got the Shelter Project Hounslow. Cafe Together has been set up in Hounslow, Isleworth and Chiswick in local churches, a free hot meal to anyone who wants to come and may want some befriending, support, or if they're worried or concerned about anything. So they will get a warm welcome, food and a chance to speak to others. So whilst it's not great that this has to be there, but still there are wonderful people leading initiatives to support those in need.
And I fear, staying on a religious theme, The Telegraph, you pulled out this article, the Bible is being translated into sign language. It's hard to believe it's not happened before now, isn't it, given it's one of the oldest manuscripts ever written?
And that's exactly what I said when I saw the story. I was like, I'm sure this should have been done by now, but apparently it hasn't. So it's been translated, the Bible's going to be translated into British Sign Language for the first time, the first official version for deaf people. It's been led by a team of Christian volunteers who are working with historical and biblical experts to bring the Bible to life in this way. And like we said, it's hard to believe that there's been no official British Sign Language translation of the Bible ever, given that it is one of the oldest living manuscripts. So you've got a minister here who's quoted by the name of Dr. Hannah Lewis, who's a deaf priest based in Liverpool, and her first language is British Sign Language, and she says that when she sees the Bible signed to her in this way, it brings it to life in a way that wasn't possible before. So yes, the Bible finally being translated into British Sign Language.
Mary, this story that you've pulled out from the Mail, that the Princess of Wales has a special Christmas message. Now, you worked for the royal household and for the Queen. What do you make of this role that we're seeing Kate growing into what seems to be a much more senior member of the royal family?
Yes, I mean it's a beautiful story. You know, this is the Princess of Wales leading her second Westminster Abbey Christmas carol service. But this one, of course, is dedicated to the late Queen, and also she makes a point about it's also those who are sadly no longer with us, because we all have got family or people who have died over the recent years and passed away, and therefore it reminds us of all the loved ones that have been lost. But for this, you know, it's not long since the late Queen passed away, and she was an incredible role model and inspiration, and her wisdom, humour, her warmth. It's so lovely to reflect on that and remember that again. And the Princess of Wales has put it really beautifully as part of this, where she actually says the late Queen held Christmas close to her heart at a time that brought people together and reminded us of the importance of faith, friendship and family, and to show empathy and compassion. So a really special carol service, and those invited are inspiring people from local communities who show that they can connect and have those community values, just as the Queen has done by thanking those amazing examples and people who go above and beyond and support others. They're giving their life of service too. So a great reflection. So please do all watch tomorrow at 7:00, and then we can all be together at Christmas.
Yeah, and certainly particularly poignant that she's dedicated that service as a tribute to the Queen, of course. Afia, just a lighter story to end on. With pubs struggling, people are being encouraged to scrap their dry January plans. Booze it or lose it, says the Star.
That's right. So 1 in 5 people who drank alcohol last January decided to do dry January, and that is having a huge effect on pubs, with 84% of pubs saying that they may have to close at 8 p.m. because they simply cannot afford it. So we are being encouraged to ditch dry January and keep frequenting our local pubs, keep buying those pints, to keep buying those pints, to keep the pub light on. So it's a lighter story, but it is again about the cost of living crisis, actually, that pubs are really struggling to keep the lights on, to keep punters in the door. So dry January should go out the window.
Afia, Mary, we'll have to leave it there. Off to the pub with you. Thanks so much for joining us. More to come at the top of the hour.